Hi, Fungo here. Fungo here. I'm Fungo. I'm Fungo. How's it going? I'm going to be doing a series of video reviews, starting with my first right here on the video game D. D. Just D, which is the fourth letter in the Latin alphabet. No, I didn't mean that D. I meant this D. Do you know how incredibly hard it is to find something with only one letter in the title? Searching D in any search engine will yield thousands of results, all of them which use D the most or have the most popular D. Is that Rick Roll? Alright. You can't just search D, the video game. That's too easy. So it basically comes down to eliminating which consoles it was actually released for, such as 3DO, Sega Saturn, Sony PlayStation. Since most are obsolete, and the game is insanely rare, going for about 5... The only platform I had choice in using was the PlayStation. Only lunatics would pay $500 for a game. In fact, only lunatics would play D because D is a freaking weird game. Weird! The story is completely fragmented and the setting changes from room to room. It fails at any regard at making sense. Anything goes with this game. But why the name D? Why not the letter T or the letter C? That is because D stands for many words that tie in with the game. Such as the daughter, darkness, despair, damnation, dynamite, discreet, distraught, dysfunctional. Why name a game D just because you can decide on a specific title? You should have just called it D for lack of a better name, or D. There are too many words that start with D to decide. After completing the game, you will notice exactly why they used the letter D, and you won't see it coming.
The year is 1997, and there has been a mass murder in a hospital in the suburbs of Los Angeles. The perpetrator? The T-1000. Now, the reason why I call him the T-1000 is because every time you see him in the game, he appears as a metallic-like entity, and usually has an annoying as frick severed head that floats mysteriously in the air.
This is your father. What are you doing, Laura? Laura. 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 Laura.
What the f*** do you want?
Laura.
Laura just so happens to be the daughter of the T-1000's head. She goes to the hospital to investigate, and the police somehow still let her in, despite there being a hostage situation at a violent crime scene. The game seems as if it were trying really hard to be missed, but the simplistic puzzles and lack of imagination make it undesirable to any Myst fan. The controls are very simple and are very similar to most point-and-click games, except without all the pointing and all the clicking. You hit a direction on the D-pad, and you have to sit there and wait for that character to move. The game's puzzles are insanely easy and require no real thought, but take a long-ass time because they are built to be slow and boring. It is also definitely quite apparent they slowed down the movement to extend the overall length of the game because no one walks this slow. And you will come across a circular room later in the game that was quite obviously built to trap you into playing longer. It's like hell. It'll make you want to rip your brain out and stomp on it! Because when you pull this lever here, it basically generates a new door, and when you turn around, about 75% of the time there's going to be a brick wall there. So you're going to have to repeat the whole process again, and it's slow! At some point, you'll find yourself fighting a knight using split-second button prompts in which you will fail over and over again. Get used to seeing this. Despite the sluggish controls, you do have an action button, and the shoulder buttons scroll through items you've obtained. You get a compact mirror, which only seems to break every time you use it. I guess it gives clues or something. And a useless pocket watch without hands. Here's a brief overview of what the game is like. You enter the lobby and get engulfed by a metallic blob that sends you into a mansion inside the T-1000's head. A hand reaches out of a mirror and tries to grope you. You get a piece of paper and you, dead bodies! Put the paper in a bowl of water which turns red if you look at it. You get a device that stops the Indiana Jones spike trap from killing you horribly. You mess around with a primitive slot machine which utilizes math in order for you to win.
Come on, 78!
When you finally get it, you acquire a ring to use in a magical door, and Laura runs away from an Indiana Jones boulder trap. Please insert disc 2.
Okay, let's take a break. Say we're a third of the way through. What did we learn? Nothing! Okay, normally I'd turn a game like this off, not just because of the snail-like pace, but because I don't know what the hell is going on, nor do I even care, or am invested enough to care. Okay? But I did discover one thing that was pretty cool, and you'll have to agree with me on this. The Beatles. No, not those Beatles. Better. That's a lot better. Okay, whatever that was. Now, if you're lucky enough to make it to the end of the game, you'll actually find out what D is all about, and what the letter D stands for.
In our veins flows the blood. In our veins flows the blood of Dracula.
Oh, and she also killed her mother while possessed by Dracula. Doesn't that sound fun? Wow. So there are two possible endings. One of them not worth it, being the bad ending.
Your flesh and blood will join with mine, and we will live forever as Dracula. Laura!
What was that?
And we will live forever as Dracula.
The second being not worth it as well, but being the good ending, well, it's actually... It's quite emotional, actually.
Laura, you've ended it. Thank you. A little more, and the change would have been complete. But that was wrong.
Oh.
And now, I will end my life as a man of flesh and blood. Laura, thank you. I love you. My last wish is that...
So there you have it. That's it. D. D for Dracula. I thought the game would be more about like murder investigation or homicide cases, sort of like CSI or something, you know, more interesting, more relevant to the plot. But Dracula's blood? What is up with this game? Why not just like at least like a paranormal cult phenomenon type thing? Cult rituals causing causing you to trip out, or maybe psychedelic drugs, I mean, which would explain the beetles and stuff. But no, it's the necklace on her neck. A beetle? Drugs? What's going on? It's not cult drugs or phenomenon. It's Dracula's blood. God! Did you see that? Look at that.